Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is really exciting and one of my favorite kinds of videos to shoot. I'm gonna be reviewing and swatching something from Lakme. It's their newest launch. It's their Skin Dew foundation. This is how the PR box looks like. It's massive.
Hey guys, I quickly wanted to come here and say that I know that the foundation that I'm wearing is not matching my body at all. It is completely a wrong shade match. I'm gonna keep you guys updated in my future videos about my exact shade match, and till then I'm just gonna play around a little more with the foundation shades and you guys can continue watching the review.
And it is beautiful. We have Kareena Kapoor Khan's face over here, and when you open this, it's like a nice bag, and once you open it, this is how the entire range of foundations look like. We have 12 different shades, and I'm going to be swatching all of these shades on my face today. So without wasting any more time, let's get right into the video. So as I said, this is the Skin Dew Serum Foundation. Now what a serum foundation actually is, it is a foundation infused with some skincare benefits, like the benefits that a regular face serum would have. So this foundation is infused with hyaluronic acid and niacinamide in it. Makeup infused with skincare is a big thing now, and why not use something that is actually beneficial rather than using a makeup product without any benefits for your skin. So the entire thought behind the serum foundation is to be beneficial for your skin as well. Now you guys know how much I love the Lakme 925 foundation. I think this is one of the best drugstore foundations. I love it more than the Fit Me foundation by Maybelline as well, and that is a really big thing because that is the most loved drugstore foundation globally actually, and I think this one is much better than that one also. It is so beautiful on the skin. I can easily compare this to my Dior foundation as well. This is that good. So I'm excited for this product launch as well. I'm also excited to see the shade range because Lakme always, I would say, messes up with their shade range, because earlier they used to only cater for fair to medium skin tones, and the last foundation launch, which was the 925 foundation, they came up with I think 12 to 15 shades. And I've heard a lot of bloggers saying that the shade range is not really inclusive. Even though they've come up with 15 shades, they don't have, the shades look very similar. So I want to see if they've done the same thing with this foundation or they've made it more inclusive. So yes, now let's get started with swatches and application and then the review part. So I'm gonna be back with my bare face. I'm back with my bare face, and now we'll be talking about the packaging and the swatches of these foundation. So I have the entire range of these foundations. We have all 12 shades, and the packaging is actually really nice and really convenient. I love it. This is how the foundation looks like. It comes in this tube-like packaging, but it also has a pump, which I really appreciate. And now let's talk about the texture of the foundation. It has a very thick mousse-like texture. This is how the texture of the foundation looks like. It is really thick in texture, and it looks like it is a very full coverage foundation. I have used this, so I know that it is a really full coverage foundation. It also gives a nice dewy finish. But yeah, this is the texture of the foundation. Now let's move ahead to the swatches. Now for a reference, I'm in the shade NC42 in the MAC Studio Fix foundation, and I'm in the shade 332 Golden Caramel in the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. Also in the Lakme 925 foundation, I'm in the shade W320. This is like an exact match for my skin tone, even more than the Maybelline Fit Me. I think this one matches me really well. So this is how the lightest shade from this foundation range looks like. It is actually pretty light, and I'm actually curious to see which is the darkest shade. Is it even dark enough? So I have the entire shade range swatched on my face right now, and I must say the shade range is a little disappointing they don't have like they've not even included the deep skin tone category. I think this is still the tan category which I fit into, and they haven't included the deep skin tone category, and that is really disappointing. I don't know about the shade range of the Lakme 925 foundation. I know it was huge, like they also had 12 to 15 shades, which is the decent amount of shades that every brand should come up with when they're coming up with foundations or concealers. But I don't know how the darkest shade of this foundation looks like, but this is how the darkest shade of this Skin Dew foundation looks like, and it is not even in the dark deep category. It is still in the olive tan category, which I fit into. Like my skin tone is olive, it's like a tan olive kind of a skin tone. So yes, they have pretty good options for the light skin tone category. If you guys can see, they've done a great job with undertones as well. I don't know if the camera is picking up, but they have like pink, yellow, neutrals, everything for the light to medium skin tone category. Even like these two shades, I think they both look really similar. The last one from here is N200 and this is N220. So N200 and 220, they both look so identical. They would have gone a little more deeper from here. Yeah, the shade 260 is a little more pink and neutral. I don't know why is it going a little bit lighter over here. And then these three shades are not even different from each other. So I think they should have included the deep category as well. That is a little disappointing. Now coming on to my exact shade. I actually had thought that my shade is 240, but then I don't know if it is my exact skin color. I've used the foundation 2 to 3 times, but I still think that I can go with this shade as well, which is 300 if I'm not wrong. Or maybe I can mix the two shades and create my own custom shade. But this shade in the Lakme 925 foundation is my exact match, which is warm caramel, and I want to show you guys this shade. Like this is such a beautiful shade, and I don't think this shade is available in this entire foundation category. Do you guys see this shade? It's W320, and immediately you can tell that this shade is much more olive than the Skin Dew foundations. Like I can't see any warm olive skin color. I think the shade 240 comes really close to this, so we'll see. So the foundation is off and I've already prepped my skin for the foundation application, and I haven't used any dewy or illuminating primer. I've just used my favorite Wet n Wild primer serum on my face. It adds a little bit of glow, but it mostly just hydrates the skin really well. It does not have any illuminating properties. So yes, I thought of mixing these two shades today. So I've used the shade 220 on my face earlier, but I think I can find a better match for myself, and I think the only better match for me would be to mix these two foundations. So yes, I'm gonna try this out with you guys. I don't know if it's gonna turn out like an exact match, but let's try it out. I'm gonna take a little bit of 220 and the shade W180. That was N220 and this is W180. So N is neutral, W is warm, and I think I need a mix of both, like warm and neutral. And I'm gonna mix these two shades up. If you can see the texture of this foundation, it is really thick and very like mousse like. It's a thick foundation, and I actually wasn't really expecting that. By the way, I'm gonna do one side with brush and one side with a beauty blender. So I wasn't really expecting this foundation to be this thick. When I heard the name Skin Dew foundation, I thought it's gonna be very light and very skin-like foundation. Not saying that this is not a skin-like foundation. I was expecting it to be more like lightweight. I wasn't expecting it to be a very heavy-duty foundation. Do you guys see the coverage? It is insane. And right off the bat, I think the shade is really light for my skin. Let's buff it out really nicely. I'm gonna leave my under eye area as usual because I'm gonna be using a correcting concealer. I think my initial idea was only correct. I should mix 220 with N340. It's not gonna be as warm as I would like it to be, but I think it's gonna match me really well. So let's try that out. Okay, the foundation is off and my skin is screaming for help, but we're still gonna try this out. So I'm just gonna take a very little bit of N220, just this much, because I think this foundation is so full coverage that you just need the tiniest amount of it. And I'm gonna take the shade N340, this much, and I'm just gonna mix it up at the back of my hand. And now let's start applying. This is already looking like a good match. So this is how the foundation looks like. It does not look like my color, and I don't know why this is happening today. Like, you guys can clearly see the difference. I think with time this foundation will adjust to my skin, because I've used the shade 220 on its own also and it has not looked bad. So I'm just gonna give it some time to sit on my skin, and I'm gonna blend this side with a sponge. I don't think, however, that a sponge would work because the foundation is so thick. Oh, it's actually working. Okay, I'm having a hard time blending this foundation with a sponge, so I'm just gonna switch to my brush. So this is how the foundation looks like. I am loving the finish, hating the shade. The shade, I think, is such a wrong match, and like, this was sent to me in PR, but even if I would have bought this foundation, it really doesn't make sense if I have to buy two foundations to create my custom shade. So yes, the shade range is very disappointing. I think, you know what is the problem? From medium to deep skin tone category, they don't have any warm shades. They just have neutrals and cool undertones. Like, literally out of all 12 shades, they have only 2 warm shades, and these both are from the light to medium category. So if you are from the medium to deep category, you will not have a warm undertone, which is like the most common skin color in India. They don't have a shade for that. So that is very disappointing, I think. I'm still not giving up on this foundation. I want to finish my full face of makeup and then judge the shade. Okay, I actually take back all the bad things that I said about the foundation, because I am actually loving it. It's not the first time that I'm wearing the foundation, but I'm just loving it even more today in front of these lights. I think it looks beautiful. My skin looks really airbrushed, very, very flawless. And this is the foundation that actually makes your skin look very doll-like. It is a very poreless matte kind of a finish. I'll bring you guys a little up close to show you guys the actual finish of the foundation. So this is how it looks like. My skin is looking really textured over here. I think I have some food allergy. I noticed it this morning. I have some texture on my forehead as well. So you guys can see, even on textured skin, the foundation looks really nice. It sits so beautifully. There's no patchiness. I had some acne scars over here. They're all covered, so the foundation coverage is really good. The finish of the foundation is a 10 on 10. I wouldn't use this foundation like on a daily basis. If I'm just going out with my friends for a brunch, I wouldn't use this foundation because it is a heavy duty foundation. Even though it does not feel heavy on the skin, it feels really lightweight on the skin. I honestly cannot really feel like I have this full face or full coverage foundation on my skin. And also, one more thing that I noticed, I generally use a correcting concealer around my mouth as well, but this time I didn't really have to do that. Like, there was no need to cover any pigmentation because the foundation is so full coverage. It actually looks really nice and very even. Even though the foundation is full coverage and slightly heavy duty, it does not really look very, very matte. It has some dewiness on the face. Of course, you will see a lot of glow because of my highlighter and my glowy blush. But the foundation on its own, it does not look very, very matte. It does not dry your skin out. It doesn't look like it has sucked all the moisture from your skin. Also, this foundation is really, really long lasting. I recently wore it and the foundation lasted the entire day and it does not feel heavy. So I think it is gonna solve a lot of problems that an oily skin girl would have. I am from the dry skin category, and also foundations last really long on my skin because I don't sweat a lot on my face. But even if you have really oily skin, I think the foundation is just gonna stay there. It is extremely, extremely long lasting. It looks really fresh on your face even after a lot of hours. Yes, the shade range is disappointing, but if you can find your shade, then definitely go for it. It is a really, really good foundation. You guys can find the product link in the description box below. Don't forget to check it out. Also, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon besides it to get notified whenever I upload a new video. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.